What is up, Africana fam? It's your girl Young Africana back at it again with another video. Happy New Year's, and what is a better way to start off the New Year's than with an updated, natural, everyday makeup routine, you guys. This is how I do my face on the regular when I'm going out, or if I'm just going for a calm slay. This is my everyday look, so if you guys want to see how I achieve this beautiful look from start to finish, then keep on watching. So we are starting off with a fresh and foundationless face, you guys. This is my natural face. Look how beautiful I am. Come on, get into the skin. So we're going to go ahead and start off with our eyebrows first. I'm using my Absolute pencil. It comes with the spoolie and the pen as well. And this is in the color Smoke. I like to go ahead and groom my eyebrows upwards first before I start tracing out my eyebrows. And I start at the bottom of the eyebrow first, right where the gradient starts. So it's not at the full start of my eyebrow. You guys see what I'm talking about, like that little gradient part in the beginning where it's a little bit sparse. I start right behind where it starts, and then I go in the front and start filling it out lightly. And I'm just using gentle hair strokes to fill in my eyebrows, and I like to use my spoolie just to diffuse those harsh lines in between my eyebrows. And I'm gonna do that again for both eyebrows, of course. Just shape them out, use hair-like strokes, and just use a light hand. And then I just like to go ahead and use my spoolie just to diffuse that eyebrow. Now I'm going to go into my Juvia's Place Eye Sculpt Eyebrow Pen in the color Ebony, and I like to apply just hair-like strokes in the front of my eyebrows, just so like my eyebrows can look a bit more realistic and just hair-like. And then I just use my spoolie again just to kind of diffuse that so it's not too harsh. And now I'll be going in with my Morphe E32 brush and a concealer. My concealer that I'll be using is the Maybelline Age Rewind concealer in the color Deep Bronze. And I'm just going to go ahead and just clean up my eyebrows with that. Now I'll be going into my Morphe M173 buffer brush. I'm just going to go ahead and buff out that concealer. And now going into eyebrow gel, I'll be using my Juvia's Place eyebrow gel in the color Ebony just to help keep my hairs in place. Now that my eyebrows are done, we're going into skin, and I'll be using my Milk Hydro Boost Primer. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that all over my face. And I just like to rub that into my skin until it's nice and tacky, and then I'm going to go into foundation. Now for foundation, I like to mix the two. I'll be using my Lancome Teint Idole in the color 560, and then my Uoma Beauty foundation in the color T2C. And I like to mix those two, and I'll be going in with my Instapop brush from Real Techniques, and I'm just going to go ahead and buff that into my skin. Now for the smaller parts of my head, like my forehead, I like to go in with my Morphe E8 brush, which is like a small buffer brush. I was going to go ahead and buff the rest of that foundation onto my forehead so I don't get it all over my hair, and I like to use smaller brushes when it comes to smaller parts of my face. Now for highlighting, I like to go in with my Maybelline Instant Age Rewind concealer in the color Deep Bronze. And I'm going to go ahead and apply that underneath my eyes, around my mustache, my chin, as well as my T-zone area, so my nose and my forehead. And I like to let the concealer sit for a little bit, for like about a minute or two, just so it could dry up my skin a bit, so it's nice and opaque once I blend it out. Now going back into my Morphe E8 brush, I like to diffuse the ends of the concealer just so that the concealer and the foundation can marry each other and there's a nice gradient effect. Now to blend out my concealer, I like to go into my Morphe G2 brush and I'm just going to go ahead and just blend out the concealer. Now to make sure everything is nice and blended, I like to go back into my Instapot brush and just, touch up on any areas that have like any lines of demarcation between the concealer and the foundation. Now I'll be going into my Morphe Continuous Setting Spray, and I'm just going to go ahead and mist my face just to rezhuzh it. I like my face a little bit moist before I apply my Mercier powder in the color Medium Deep. And I'm going to go ahead and use a damp beauty blender just to pat in that powder. I like to tap in the powder, let it melt into my skin. I don't like to let it sit, because when you let it sit, it becomes a lot lighter than your actual face, and I don't really like that. So I like to pat it in. I like to set it in my skin. Not sit it, but set it, y'all. And I'm just going to go ahead and apply that in all the areas that I went ahead and applied my concealer at. For contour, I'll be going into my Juvia's Place Bronze Bronzer in the color Deep Dark, and I'll be using my Morphe E62 brush, the angle brush, just to do my contour. And I learned this trick off of TikTok, y'all. I use a brush that's kind of like the width of my nose bridge, and I just use that in between as I'm doing my contour. And when I tell you the contour is snatched, it is snatched, okay? So go ahead and use that trick if y'all want to. But I do like to drag my contour in into my eyebrows. It just gives it this model-less type look. I don't know how to explain it. But in the palette, I did use the darkest color for my contour, and now I'm going back into my powder and my beauty blender just to kind of carve out that contour so it's nice and chiseled. Y'all just see that? Come on, y'all see that? Come on, y'all see that? Do you see that? Now to contour around my cheekbones, I would like to go into my Morphe E4 brush. It's an angled brush, and I'm using that same dark color in the bronze bronzer palette, the deep dark palette. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that all around my face. Now onto the eyelids, I like to use my Juvia's Place foundation stick in the color Congo. And then use my Morphe M433 brush just to, buff out that foundation stick. And I like to again bring the foundation stick towards the contour of my nose, just so everything could just mesh in and marry together, there's no gaps in between. And yeah, y'all, it just looks good when I do this. So drag it upwards towards the brow bone area of your eyebrows. And now I'll be going into the same palette, the bronze deep dark palette, and I'm using the second darker shade. And I'm just going to go ahead and just use that same brush and just pat in that color. And then for the brow bone, I like to go into the bronze palette, but the deep palette, and I'll be using the lighter color as my transition color up top. Alright, y'all, now I'm going to go ahead and use my Instapot brush and just, pat in slash, swipe away the powder, the excess powder I have on my face. And I'm just going to keep on doing that until everything is nice and gone. Alright, now on to eyeliner. I like to go into my Italia black eyeliner. This is an Amazon brand that I got from Amazon. I like it a lot because it's very creamy, and I just like to line my waterline with it. And now I like to go into the inner tear duct eye area. And I like to use my Essence matte black liner. You could get this from Ulta if you want. I believe they sell it online as well too. And then on to the bronze dark palette, I'll be using that darker shade, and I'll apply that as my blush. And I use my Morphe E48 brush to do that. Now on to my eyelashes, you guys been bothering me about this eyelash thing for the longest. So I'm gonna drop the tea for y'all right now. So I like to go into my L'Oreal Lash Paradise base. This is a primer. So I like to prime my lower lashes first before I go in with the regular mascara, y'all. You just want to make sure that you just pack it on. You don't want to make it too clumpy because then your lashes will come out clumpy. But you want it thick enough. And this just kind of adds like fiber and just, volume to your eyelashes. And then I like to go into my, I think, what brand is it? Better Than Sex. It's my Better Than Sex mascara. And I like to just go ahead and just, be very careful, because you could go from like cute eyelashes to like a black eye in 2.5. So make sure that you're not grabbing onto your skin while you're doing this. I like to use like the tip of like the spoolie just to, separate the eyelashes and make it nice and voluminous. So yes, I like to use my Better Than Sex mascara after the base. And also to just make sure you don't let the base dry out. You want to make sure they're still kind of wet so like it's nice and thick. And this is how I get my lower lash look, y'all. Now I'll be going into my Anastasia Amrezy highlighter, and I'm going to be using like this small brush just to apply it on the button of my nose and a little bit on the bridge of my nose. And I just feel like it just kind of like completes my look, you guys, in my personal offense. And again, using my Essence liquid liner, I'm going to go ahead and apply my little moly moles. Y'all know I love my little moles. And then on to the lips, I like to use my NYX Lip Liner in the color Espresso first. I'm not the biggest fan of how Espresso looks on my lips, so I'll go ahead and pair it with my black lip liner. And this is the Italia brand again, like I said, the Amazon brand. And I'm just going to go ahead and put that right on top. And as you guys can see, it gives me like a nice like deep brown. That's how I achieve my brown. And then for my lip gloss, I'll be going in with my Juvia's Place lip gloss in the color Sis. I'm just going to go ahead and apply that and mix that in. And I get this beautiful, beautiful nude. Now I'll be misting and setting my face with my Morphe Continuous Setting Mist. And then I like to use my Instapot brush just to pat that in. And we are pretty much done with this entire look, y'all. And that is the end of this video. I hope you guys found this video very informative. Like, comment, subscribe to my channel if you did not. Go ahead and give me a big fat thumbs up on this video for the algorithm and your edges, of course. And yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video. Comment down below some video ideas you want me to do, and I'll execute it for y'all. Later.